Welcome back, everybody. This is Urban Sprawl, and my work commitments are finished. Not 100% finished, but the heavy workload has finished. And I'm so excited because I get to play my favourite game again and show you what I've been doing. Unfortunately, it's not been a lot. It really wasn't as much as I thought I would get done, but there you go. That's what you get for being a professional and running a Minecraft channel. I'm so excited to be back, and as the sun sets on my first day back, I really want to show you what I've been doing. I've been working in the forestry, cleaning it up, because believe me, the mangrove trees had just gone crazy. So I've cleared the mangrove trees, which took so long. I've cut down some oak and I've tidied this area up, and I've got our next build site organised. Yes, I've got our next build site organised. I have been wanting to build this since... now it's raining. What? Oh, and that's a thunderstorm. Okay, that's a thunderstorm. Let's get back to bed. That sky is really dark. Take 3. I have been wanting to build this structure for a long time. The Manor that the forestry owner lives in. And today we're going to get that done. So I've been gathering some resources, and it's a good thing we're in the forestry because if I run out, we've got plenty growing. Let's build the forestry manor. So let's have a look at the Forestry Manor. It's it's another big square, and I know I do want to try and get away from the big squares, but for a manor, for a big mansion type house, I think it fits the brief quite nicely. So let's go and have a look, and I'll show you some of the finer details. So there's the path coming along from the city through the forestry with all the trees on the side. We come here and there it is. So we've got another little bridge spanning the waterway, the man-made waterway, but we'll just forget about that. So the idea is that it's a little spring, so the water comes up through the ground just here under the rock, and it flows down to the river. So if we follow the water, and then it goes down and meets the river. And I've put in some cobblestone and some different types of mud just to make it look a little bit more natural. There we go. So there's that waterway, and I haven't edited this. This is how this little bit of land formed when we first joined the world, so that hasn't been modified. And here's the manor. So I've got a variety of woods. The majority of it is oak, obviously, and the floor is spruce because I do like spruce. We've got the nice big double doors. We come in and we're greeted with a bit of a living space. So we've got a dining table with some chairs. We've got a nice big kitchen with a sink and a chopping board, and then the cooker with a chimney that goes up through the building. Over here, we've got a bit of a reading area. So here I've used those new shelf blocks for the sides of the chairs there. So it makes them look a little bit more comfortable, and it looks like it is actually an armrest, which I thought was quite clever. We've got the books there, we've got a nice big rug, and we've got some artwork on the wall. We've gone quite open plan on the ground floor, because you can imagine the people working in the forestry, cutting down the trees, come back for a lunch break and they come in. I did have a chest here. Now, I did have a chest here for the idea that, yeah, the workers coming home for lunch can come in, they would be filthy, so they can plonk their shoes in the chest before they come in to sit down for a meal, rather than walking dirt and sawmill offcuts and dust and stuff into the house. But I had to remove the chest, and I'll show you why in a little bit. We've got a bedroom, my bedroom, with a nice fluffy rug. And then we've got upstairs. So if we come up here, we've got more artwork on the wall, and we've got 3 more bedrooms. So I haven't decked these out yet, but they will have furniture in them eventually. And we've got the veranda, or the balcony, if you like, with a nice view of the trees. And it does wrap around the building. So around this side, we've got a nice view of the river, so we can see any boats going by, which is very nice. Got another entrance here. Got lots of artwork on the walls to make it feel lived in. And then we've got up here. So this is the attic, which is a nice big space, and I haven't quite worked out what we're going to do up here. I could have put my storage up here, but it seems a bit far to go up a flight of stairs and up a ladder to get to the storage. So I haven't put the storage up here. I don't know what this will be used for. So there's the manor. Outside, we've got another veranda area where we can sit and relax after a hard day chopping down trees and watch the sunset because, oh no, the sunset's over that way. We can sit and watch the sun rise if we're getting up early enough. So we've got some little garden pieces. I had to go so far away to find some of this vegetation. These pink flowers and this tall dry grass. So the dry grass, the pink flowers, the leaves, and what else was it? The yellow flowers on the ground. Where's the yellow flowers? These yellow flowers. I had to go so far to find those just to decorate this manor because they were one of the newer updates, and obviously being in a world you have to go somewhere that hasn't been spawned to find them. And the leaves, I had to travel quite some way to find the leaves as well. But I'm glad I did because it gives this place a real lived-in feel. The building hasn't just been plonked on the ground. In this little room, you might have seen the little creature. We've got some copper golems. Now, these guys are very new to the game, and I am still getting my head around how they work and what problems they can cause. So the idea, you got a copper chest, so you put everything in your copper chest that you want sorted, and they'll come along, they'll go to the copper chest. I think they take out stacks of 16 at a time, and then they'll look through all the chests in the vicinity and find where to store it, which in itself can cause some problems. So I had this first row of double chests set out, and I created the copper golems, and they started doing their work, which was awesome. But then, if you remember the forestry, each type of tree used to have a chest. So I would cut down the tree, get the resources, anything I didn't need, I would put in the chest. So each type of tree had a chest along here. What I found was the copper golems connected to all these chests along here, and they were out wandering around trying to find the right chest. They got all the way down here next to this crimson plant and were looking and accessing that chest. Big problems. So I had to go along and remove all the chests, and I had to remove all the stuff sorted in the chests into the manor. So that was a little bit unexpected. I didn't realise that they would connect to chests so far away from their copper chest. That was a bit of a surprise to me, and it took a bit of time to get it sorted, but they're in here now, and they haven't left this building since I removed all those tree chests. So they're in here, they're sorting this for me gradually, and as you can see, I've told them what to put in the chests down the bottom there. So each chest has got down the bottom what I want them to sort. Very, very interesting sorting system. Not very efficient, very slow, but it gets the job done while you're not thinking about it. So I've started playing around with the copper golems and how they can be used to sort items. There is another area that I want to... No! Oh, great. You horrible, horrible, horrible. Where did he come from? It smashed the window. I need to fix this up. There we go, all patched up. I would like to use the copper golem's sorting qualities over in the floating farm. If you remember, I've got chests and chests of fish and prismarine shards over in the floating farm, and I would really like them sorted out. So I might pop over to the farm and set up a little area underneath all those chests to have some copper golems help us out. So here we are at the floating fish farm, and I've brought a shulker box with some cobblestone in to help us build a structure underneath the island where the copper golems can help us out with sorting all the fish and the prismarine shards. Let's go in and we'll go down underneath and we'll start getting the structure built. So this is the area underneath the fish farm that stores everything, and as you can see, we've got lots and lots of stuff to get sorted. We've got two sides, so I was thinking making another level down further where we could have the items filter through some hoppers and have the have the copper golems help us by sorting them. Let's get another level built. Okay, I have been working at the floating farm for the last couple of hours, working out a copper golem sorting system. Let's go and have a look. And I have turned the hostile mob sound right down because that is deafening. Let's go downstairs. Here we go. Here is my copper golem sorting system. So I'm actually pretty chuffed with this. I've seen a couple of other YouTubers making various storage systems utilising the copper golems, and I thought I might have a go. So I have got a system where we just go back upstairs again. Look, I've cleared out some chests already. Currently, this hopper system is cut off because I'm wanting the copper chest to empty down there. It's just continually being filled up. So these chests I will have send their goods down through the hopper system, and that goes down into the copper chest in the first pod. So this is the first pod. That hopper puts its goods into this chest. The golems, and I think I've got 4 or 5 golems in there. I reckon there's 5. I can count their antennas. Yes, 5 copper golems in there. So they're going through that copper chest and they're finding the prismarine shards and they're storing them away. Each of these... oh, that one's full. Wow. Each of these chests, I've put a prismarine shard in the bottom right-hand corner. So when they look in here, they can only put prismarine shards in. There's another chest just out of view. If I go around, I've made little view slots in the walls so I can see them hard at work. So here, this double chest is empty. And it will always be empty because there's a hopper underneath it that sends anything that they can't put in their chest, so anything that's not a prismarine shard. Here we go. Is this little fella going to... Yep, he's just put something in there. I think that was a prismarine crystal. So he put it in that double chest. It's gone through the hopper network. and it was put into this chest. There we go there. Oh. So he's put some prismarine crystals in there. And then the copper golem is storing away the prismarine crystals into his chests. And anything that's not a prismarine crystal, so all these fish, the pufferfish, the chests, which I don't know how that got in there, the tropical fish, if he can't put them somewhere in his chests, he'll put it in this double chest, which has got a hopper system underneath it, and it sends it to the next pod. And this guy will put all the stuff in his chest. Anything that he can't store goes into a double chest there, which gets hoppered into this little fella's copper chest. So it's like a system where what's left over is passed on, and eventually it comes down to this guy. And this guy is very bored at the moment because he's waiting for everything to be passed down to him. And he's just, the poor fella, he's just so lonely, standing there checking his chest every couple of seconds. There he is. Poor little guy. No, still nothing. And this is the end of the line. So we've got prismarine shards. We've got prismarine crystals. Over here we've got the raw cod. Here we've got the raw salmon. I haven't got one on the board though, on the item frame, because I've only got 8. And because they're so rare, I'm thinking I should have put this pod here, because we're going to get more tropical fish and more puffer fish than we are salmon. So if I feel up to it, I might swap these two around, because this guy is waiting for the puffer fish and the tropical fish to be passed along the system before he can sort it away. Anything he can't sort goes in here. This is the overflow chest. So when that chest that was in the system goes around, and it might take some time, it will appear here and I can retrieve it. So this is my setup. It was a bit squishy because we are in the floating island, remember? And I have put a nice border out here. It looks pretty shocking. It looks real rubbish out here. I wanted to confine them to a space. So knowing that these walls are very irregular and there's lots of steps that they can climb up, I thought I'll wall them off into their own little pods. That way I can roam around out here and cut a little hole in the wall and have a sneaky peek like this. But they can't roam around and interfere with other chests, because they do. If you've got chests that you think are out of their range, I would double check it, because they will hone in on any sort of chest that they've got access to. So these guys can only access the chests in their pod. So that's my sorting system, and it's working rather well, albeit very slow. If you remember how many chests I've got up here. I'm thinking when this side is finished, I'll just move the hoppers around so it'll gradually empty out all these chests. And I think once they're emptied and stored away, I might modify it, because currently there's these 4 chests underneath which have been full. Since I first started using this farm, these chests have just been full, and I've manually emptied some goods out of this chest, but currently they're just chocker. So what I want to do when these chests are empty, it's going to take so long. I've already blocked off these 2 chests because they have been emptied, but when they're all empty, I might fill this section in, get rid of this water stream and these hoppers, and just have the drops go straight into these 4 chests and then straight down somehow. So that's the bottom of the chest, so I might have to you utilise lots of hoppers to drop them down into the copper chest underneath there. That's my goal. So far, so good. As these chests empty, I'll move the hoppers to empty the other chests, and then we'll spin it over this side and empty all these. It's a very messy system up here, but down below it's a little bit neater and more organised, and I really just used the resources that I had over on the floating farm, which was the pale oak and the prismarine and of course sea lanterns. So, but I think it looks quite nice. It's not as symmetrical as I would like. It's not as well arranged as what I would like, but it's working. So the little golems are hard at work sorting stuff for me. That's the floating farm storage system. I built the Forestry Manor, and I've put in a storage system on the floating farm to organise all the prismarine shards, the prismarine crystals, and all the fish that we get, using the copper golems, which I'm really excited about. I've actually got a couple other systems using the copper golems. You've seen the one at the Forestry, which is a little bit more organised than my first attempt. My first attempt is pretty shocking. Let me show you. We're back in the wool shed in the city and down in the basement. I think since you guys saw this last, I've refashioned it a little bit. So I've redone the floor. We've got the netherwort growing behind us, and we've got the chute for the mites behind me there too. So if you remember this setup, what you probably haven't seen is what I've been doing down this end. Ta-da! This is my first attempt at a copper golem sorting system. So, oh, they're green. I'm going to have to get some more wax. Mind you, this is a really shocking system, guys. Do not look at this and try to build this one yourself. I thought I would put it in columns, like rows, like in a shopping centre, where you can walk down the aisles and pick from the both sides, thinking it would be a good use of this space, but I don't think I like it. So when they have fully oxidised and turned to statues, I might reorganise this setup. Currently there are 3 double copper chests that stuff can be put in, and they're all empty, so the poor little guys are trying to go about their business, but there's nothing to sort for them. So I've got the hopper on top so I can put a shulker box on top and have it emptied. And we've got the overflow chest down here. So this is all the stuff that they can't find. So you can see this is a very different setup. I don't have the items down in the bottom right corner. Some of them I do, but this was my learning phase. And yes, I don't like it. The red wool was just a handy block, obviously, the wool farm there. But yes, I don't particularly like this setup. And yes, so when they have fully oxidised, I plan on reorganising this. So there you have it. First episode after having a bit of a break, and we've got a lot done. We've built the Forestry Manor for the forestry owner and his workers to live in and have their meals, and we've put a copper golem sorting system in the floating farm and have got all the fish and the prismarine being sorted out into the different chests. It's nice to be back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit the like button and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I do appreciate your comments if you've got any feedback for me, and apart from that, I'll see you next time. Bye. That grass still hasn't grown over. That stupid creeper.